check out a website, and you're just bombarded with video content.
It really is.
And it's not surprising, though, is it? I mean,
No.
clearly a super effective way to connect, engage, whether it's brands trying to reach customers or just people sharing ideas. Video is powerful.
Yeah.
But then there's the flip side.
Oh, absolutely.
If you've ever actually tried to create a video yourself,
Right.
you hit that wall pretty quickly. The time commitment, the potential costs, the software, like the learning curve for video editing software can be really steep.
It can be really intimidating. I mean, the traditional way of producing videos, it's a challenge. You often need specialized skills, maybe even a whole team, and then there's the time and the money you have to invest.
It's a big undertaking.
It is, yeah, and that's what makes this whole idea of AI text-to-video generators so fascinating.
That's exactly what we're diving into today. And
Yeah.
we're looking at one in particular, deevid.ai. And from what you've shared, it sounds like it could be a real game changer in this area. So
Yeah.
for this deep dive, let's really break down what this technology is, how deevid.ai works, and what it means for anyone who wants to get into creating video content in a more efficient way.
Sounds good.
So let's unpack this. And for those who might be hearing about this for the first time, let's start with the basics. What exactly is a text-to-video generator?
Okay, so at its core, a text-to-video generator uses artificial intelligence.
AI.
Exactly, and that basically means computer systems that can, learn and do things that usually require human intelligence, like understanding language or generating images. And they use this AI to actually turn written words into video content. So you give it text, the AI analyzes it, and it tries to understand not just the words, but also the context, like what you're really trying to say.
Mm-hmm.
And then based on that understanding, it creates a video with visuals, animations, transitions between scenes, all to match your message.
So this is more than just like throwing some stock footage over a voiceover.
Oh yeah, way more. The AI is actually making decisions about what visuals would work best to illustrate your text.
Interesting.
Like if you're describing a sunny day, it's going to pick images of sunshine. If you talk about movement or progress, it might use animations or dynamic transitions. And the best part, you don't need to be a video editing expert.
Right.
The AI handles a lot of those tricky tasks for you automatically.
That's pretty remarkable. Okay, so now that we have a clearer picture of what these generators are, let's zero in on deevid.ai. Everything we've gathered points to it being a real leader in this AI content creation space. So let's talk features. What are the key things people should know about?
All right, so deevid.ai has a bunch of different features for all sorts of content creation needs.
Okay.
The big one, obviously, is text to video. Basically, you type in a text prompt, and the AI makes a whole video based on that.
Wow.
The source material actually gives a cool example. You could write, imagine a serene beach at sunset with vibrant orange hues and crashing waves, and deevid.ai would actually create a video that shows exactly that.
So it's almost like it's reading your mind, visualizing your thoughts.
Yeah.
That's wild. What other cool features does it have?
Well, they also have this thing called image to video, which is pretty neat. It lets you take a still photograph and make it come alive with animations.
Oh, I see.
Say a business has a new product, they take a photo of it, and then they can use deevid.ai to add subtle movements. Maybe it slowly rotates or you get a gentle zoom. Makes it way more eye-catching, especially for things like social media where you need to grab people's attention quickly.
Okay, so taking something static and adding that movement, that makes a lot of sense,
Mhm.
especially for showing off products. What else do they got?
Another interesting feature is video to video.
Video to video.
Yeah, this one lets you take existing video footage and reimagine it, give it a makeover, new styles, effects. You could even change the whole narrative.
Really?
Yeah, so let's say you have some raw footage. You could use deevid.ai to make it look more professional, add some visual polish or even change the mood of the whole thing without having to go through all those complicated editing steps.
Oh, I see. So if you have a library of old videos
Mhm.
that need a refresh or you want to use them on different platforms, that's a huge time saver.
Exactly.
That's really cool. Okay, and the last core feature they mentioned was popular video templates. So tell us a bit more about how those work.
Yeah, so these are basically pre-designed video layouts. They're like a starting point for your video. They come with set visual styles, animations, transitions already built in.
So you don't have to start from scratch.
Right, exactly. You basically just plug in your text, your images, or video clips into the template. It's perfect if you want something that looks professional, but don't want to spend ages designing everything from the ground up.
Right.
Like imagine a small business owner wants to make a quick ad for Instagram.
Mhm.
They could just pick a template that fits and drop in their product images and some text. Done.
So it seems like deevid.ai is all about making video creation more accessible to people who aren't necessarily tech wizards or video editing pros.
Yeah, I think that's the whole point.
It's about empowering users to create good quality videos, no matter their skill level or their budget.
Okay, so we've got a good grasp of what deevid.ai is and what it can do. But let's get under the hood a little bit. How does this technology actually work in practice?
Sure.
Can you walk us through what a typical user would do step by step?
Okay, well, the whole process is supposed to be really user-friendly. And according to what we've gathered, there are 4 main steps.
Okay.
The first step is input your content. Like we talked about, there are a few options here.
Mhm.
You can start with a text prompt, like that example of the beach at sunset. You can upload a picture that you want to animate, like that product shot we discussed.
Mhm.
Or if you already have video footage, you can just upload that.
So it's very adaptable. You can use whatever you have as your starting point. Okay, then what? All right, so then you move on to step 2, which is customize your video. This is where you get to put your personal stamp on the AI's work. They have a really easy to use interface where you can tweak all sorts of aspects of your video. You can pick different visual themes, change the transitions between scenes, control how one shot flows into the next. You can add special effects, even include your own branding, things like logos and color schemes. So the AI gets you started, but you still have control over the final product.
That's great. So it's not completely hands-off. You can still be creative and make it your own.
Exactly. The AI builds the foundation, but you have all the tools to shape it the way you want. And then comes step 3, preview imperfect.
Uh-huh.
deevid.ai has this real-time preview feature, which is really useful. You can actually watch your video as you're making changes, so you can see how it's all coming together, adjust timings, tweak the visuals, and basically make sure you're completely happy with it before you finalize anything.
That real-time feedback is so important.
Oh,
You don't want to wait until the very end and then realize it's not what you envisioned.
Yeah.
Okay, so what's the final step?
The last step is download or share. Once you're happy with your video, you can download it in high quality.
Okay.
So you can use it wherever you want, put it on your website, social media, presentations, you name it. And they might even have options to share it directly to your social media accounts.
Nice. So it's all integrated.
Right. And get this, most videos take around 1 minute to generate.
1 minute. That's incredible.
It is. Think about it. A social media explainer video that might take a human editor hours and hours can be basically done in like 5 minutes with deevid.ai, leaving you loads of time to fine tune it or work on other things.
That's such a game changer. Seriously, that kind of efficiency can revolutionize how people create content. Okay, so deevid.ai sounds super efficient, easy to use, but there are other AI video tools popping up all the time. What makes deevid.ai stand out from the crowd? What are its big advantages?
That's a good question.
Yeah.
Well, the information we have highlights a few key areas where deevid.ai really shines. First, it's the speed, obviously. Creating videos in minutes is a massive plus compared to the time it takes to edit videos manually.
Definitely. I mean, for anyone who's ever sat there editing video, they know how time-consuming it can be. So
Yeah.
speed's a big one. What else?
Second, ease of use. It's designed to be user-friendly, so even if you've never touched video editing software before, you can still use it effectively.
I mean, those two things alone, the time saving and the fact that you don't need to be an expert, that's huge.
Yeah, I think it removes those big barriers that keep a lot of people from even trying.
Absolutely. What else? What other benefits does deevid.ai offer?
Well, they also focus on high-quality output, so you get smooth animations, visuals that look professional, crisp transitions. The end result is polished and engaging. Then there's affordability. Compared to hiring professional videographers or buying those expensive, complicated editing programs, deevid.ai wants to be a budget-friendly option. And finally, and this is important, data privacy. They make a big deal about encrypting all user data and videos so your intellectual property is protected.
Well, that's good to hear because data privacy is a big concern these days.
Yeah.
It's reassuring to know they take it seriously.
Yeah.
Okay, so they're tackling some of the big issues around video creation. Now, let's think bigger picture. What are the real benefits of using a tool like deevid.ai, not just for video, but for content creation in general? Like, how does this change things?
Well, the benefits are pretty broad, and they can affect many different parts of how people create content. One of the biggest is, as we've been talking about, saving time and effort. Traditional video production has so many stages, and they can take forever.
Yeah.
But deevid.ai streamlines the whole process. You can skip a lot of the scripting, shooting, and editing and get to a finished video much, much faster.
Time is precious, so that efficiency is a huge advantage.
It is. And then there's boosting engagement. You know, study after study shows that video content just performs better than static content.
Yeah.
It grabs people's attention better and keeps them interested longer, whether it's on Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, you name it. So by making video creation easier, deevid.ai is helping people create those eye-catching videos that are going to keep viewers hooked.
Well, it makes sense. I mean, video is just more dynamic, more visually appealing than a static image.
Right.
People are naturally drawn to it.
And another great thing about this is it makes video creation accessible to everyone. Small businesses, individual creators, people who don't have a tech background.
Yeah.
They don't have to outsource to expensive professionals or wrestle with complicated software anymore. It's like it's leveling the playing field.
Democratizing video creation.
Exactly. And finally, there's versatility. The source material emphasizes that you can use deevid.ai for a wide range of video content. Explainer videos, ads, educational content, those quick shareable social media clips. It's adaptable to all sorts of needs across different industries.
And that's really interesting because it's not just a one-trick pony. You can use it for all these different purposes. So let's talk about how this translates to specific industries. Can you give us some concrete examples of how deevid.ai could be used in the real world to solve problems or achieve goals?
Sure. In marketing and advertising, you could use it to quickly create engaging ad campaigns, you know, the kind that grab attention and get people to buy stuff. Imagine a team wants to test out 2 regions of an ad. With deevid.ai, they could whip up those variations with different visuals or text super fast, see which one performs better.
That's so efficient.
Yeah, A/B testing it's called. In education, you could use it to create really cool e-learning materials. That's a big one.
Yeah, making learning more visually engaging.
Exactly. It could make a big difference for students, especially when you're trying to teach complex topics, to actually have those visual explanations.
That's a great point. So what about other industries? Where else could this be useful?
Well, in e-commerce, you could use it to showcase products in a more compelling way. Instead of just static images, you could have these short animated videos that highlight the key features or show how a product works. That could really boost sales, don't you think?
Oh, absolutely.
And then there's social media influencers. They could use deevid.ai to create fresh, attention-grabbing content for their audience more often, which is super important for growing their reach. And then in corporate communication, you can streamline the creation of things like training videos for employees. Or you can make those internal presentations way more polished and visually appealing without having to hire a whole video production team.
So many possibilities. And speaking of reaching an audience, SEO is a huge part of that, especially online. How does video content created with a tool like deevid.ai play into SEO strategies?
Well, video content is becoming more and more important for SEO. Search engines love websites that have video, and it makes sense, you know?
Yeah.
First of all, videos can increase the time people spend on a page. Visitors tend to stick around longer when there's a video to watch compared to just text. Second, they help reduce bounce rates. You know, that's when people visit a page and immediately leave. If they see a video they like, they're more likely to stay and explore the site further.
So video content, just by its nature, has some SEO advantages.
Yeah.
But how does deevid.ai help users specifically leverage these benefits?
Well, they've built it in a few clever ways.
Hmm.
First of all, you can embed keywords right into your video scripts. So when you're typing in your text prompt, you can use the keywords that are important for your SEO strategy.
Oh, I see.
And then the videos you make with deevid.ai are perfect for YouTube, which is like the second biggest search engine in the world. If you optimize your video titles, descriptions, tags on YouTube with relevant keywords, it can really help people find your content.
Makes sense.
Plus, the fact that deevid.ai makes it so easy to create high-quality, engaging videos is a big plus. Those are the videos people are going to actually watch, share, and link to.
That's right.
And all that contributes to better engagement, which helps with SEO over time.
So it's not just about slapping any old video on your website.
No, not at all.
It needs to be good, it needs to be relevant, it needs to be something people actually want to watch. Okay, let's talk about something that's on a lot of people's minds, especially with online tools. Data privacy and security. What does the information we have tell us about how deevid.ai approaches this?
Well, they really emphasize their commitment to data security.
Mhm.
One of the key things is encryption. They say all user data is encrypted to protect intellectual property.
So it's basically scrambled so only authorized people can see it.
Exactly. It's a big layer of protection for the people using the platform.
That's good.
And they're very clear about not sharing user information with third parties. That's something a lot of people are concerned about.
Rightly so.
Yeah. And then they also have built-in safeguards to detect and prevent any inappropriate content. It seems like they're trying to promote responsible use.
That's really good to hear. It builds trust, knowing your data is protected and that they're taking steps to keep things appropriate. Now, let's shift gears a bit and look ahead. What does the information we've gathered suggest about the future of AI and content creation, especially with tools like deevid.ai? Where do we go from here?
Well, based on what we know, the future looks very interesting.
Yeah.
One thing they talk about is interactive videos. Imagine videos that respond to what the user does, creating a more personalized experience. So, for example, a training video where the next step changes based on your answer to a question in the video. Pretty cool, huh?
Wow, that's really cool. What else?
Another possibility is real-time generation. Imagine creating videos instantly, like during a live event or a social interaction. That would be a game changer for sure.
Totally.
And perhaps the most exciting thing they touch on is improved creativity. This idea of AI and humans actually collaborating, like the AI suggesting new visual ideas or different ways to tell a story.
That's fascinating.
Right.
Like having AI creative partner.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, tools like deevid.ai, they feel like just the beginning.
Yeah.
It seems like how we create and share visual information is going to change drastically in the next few years.
So to sum it all up, it sounds like deevid.ai is a really exciting development for anyone who wants to create video content, whether you're a seasoned pro or just starting out. It's fast, user-friendly, produces high-quality videos, and you don't need to be a tech genius or spend a fortune to use it. It really has the potential to make video creation simpler and faster for just about everyone, including you listening right now.
Definitely. It really does level the playing field. People and businesses who might have felt like creating professional-looking videos was impossible, they now have the tools to do it.
Right.
And the speed and ease of use are game changers. It solves so many of the headaches that come with traditional video production.
So with all that in mind, I want to leave you with this question. How could you use a tool like deevid.ai? What ideas would you bring to life? How would you connect with your audience? How would you unleash your creativity in new ways? The folks at deevid.ai actually have a great offer. You can sign up for free on their website and try it out for yourself.
It's definitely worth checking out.
It really does feel like we're on the cusp of a major shift in how we create content. And it's going to be fascinating to see how these tools evolve and how they empower creators in the future.
Absolutely.